told you at the beginning of the show an hour and a half ago when I originally started 10 years ago today, Victor Bermudez was the executive producer. Zach Krantz was my co-host. And Sha Tabb was our associate producer and entertainment reporter. Like, she wore a lot of hats. We didn't know exactly what she was going to do. I just knew that I wanted her to be part of the show. Do you remember how we met, Shay, and how you ended up being a part of the show?
I remember meeting you where we used to work before, but I don't remember exactly how you got me to be on the show with you.
So we were both at 790 The Ticket. She was in the promotions department, and we would do events. Chick. We did a lot of events at 790 The Ticket. There were a lot of events, and she was always so friendly. I like friendly people. Aside from Crowder, I generally like friendly people. And I always would smile when I was around Shay. And when I was leaving 790 to go to 560, I think I said to you, would you have any interest in doing like an on-air role, right? And I think Shay had been a Miami Dolphins cheerleader. She was always like a performer. And so I think when I asked you, you were like, yeah, I would consider doing something like that. And then it probably just snowballed from there.
Yeah, it just kind of happened because I knew I wanted to do something in radio, and I love sports, but I don't know it as well as you do. But still, I love entertainment, and I just wanted something to be a part on your show. So I was like, yeah, I'll do it.
It was funny because you say, I don't know sports the way you do, but I didn't know anything about sports. I'm like, we're not going to be talking sports. Like, I don't know what we're going to be talking about, but it's not going to be sports.
Oh my gosh.
That's how that happened.
Yes, it was a lot of fun. I had the best time working with you guys. It didn't feel like I was working. Like, I felt like I got to talk to my friends every single day. It was a lot of fun.
And Shay and Hoch never wants to give himself credit. He's probably going to downplay whatever you say anyway. But this is 10 years, and he's been doing this now for over 20. Hoch's a bad man, isn't he?
When you say bad, what do you mean by that? Please define.
It's black bad, like bad, good, black bad.
Okay, yes. Then I have to give that to you. Yes, Hoch is bad. I give that to you.
Yeah. Do you remember when we first started and was very chill? We were very relaxed. Everything was easy. Do you remember when Andy King decided what? I saw your eyes light up. Because I was going to ask Shay, like, do you have a show memory? By the way, tell everybody what you're doing now. For people, I mean, it's been, 8 years? Because you were on the show for a couple of years. So it's probably been 8 years. People probably hear you on the radio. You want to tell everybody what you're doing?
Yeah, so now I report traffic for radio and for television. I report for Channel 7 in the morning. You don't see my face. You just hear my voice every morning, every 15 minutes. And I also report for Tallahassee, Orlando, anywhere within the United States, and within Florida. I also do it for North Carolina. So I do a lot when it comes on the traffic. Plus I do promotions. I see Crowder all the time.
Right. Shay does a lot of stuff at Dolphin Stadium or Hard Rock Stadium because of her lineage with the Dolphins cheerleaders. So she and Crowder are always bumping into each other because they're on the circuit.
All the time,
Dolphins circuit.
That's my ace. Shay's my ace.
That's right.
We did. So we had a very chill show, and it was like, hey, I don't even remember if Zach used to do did you do the sports headlines? I can't even remember.
I think I did do those sports headlines because
I know at one point, Andy King was our program director, and he decided it was like the new year, and he called a meeting. Do you remember what I'm talking about here? Do you remember this meeting?
Refresh my memory. Keep talking.
We sat in a meeting. Andy King was our program director, and he decided to start out the year. It was probably 2015, and he decided we're going to start out the year. And the headlines, I don't know. He just laid a whole bunch of stuff on Shay. Do you remember this?
I would have to do all these things, and I was there for hours afterwards.
Right. I just remember you bursting out crying. Do you remember that?
Yes.
Everything was so chill on the show. And then all of a sudden, Andy King one day decided, I'm going to make this more difficult than flying the space shuttle.
Yes.
And he just put everything on Shay. I'm sitting in this meeting, and I wasn't going to interrupt Andy because I like Andy.
Right.
I was like, you know what? I'm going to let him finish or whatever. And then I'm going to tell Shay to ignore everything that he said, which is exactly what I did. But I let, like, if it was Ryan McGuire, I'd have said, shut up and move on with your life because no one's going to do this. But I let Andy go through all the stuff that he wanted to do. And he leaves the room and she's got tears streaming down her eyes because she's like, I'm not going to be able to do this. Like, I don't know. I don't even remember what it was, like all the stuff he had put on her. But I remember just saying to her, listen, everything that he just said, ignore it. We don't have to do any of that.
And Andy was like a little tornado whenever he went somewhere.
Yes.
Like it was like just total chaos, whatever. Like the energy that he had was always just total chaos. But still, you love Andy, you know?
Yeah. We had a time.
Yeah,
We had a time.
And speaking of crying, Shay, because Hawk brought it up earlier, I think
I heard it.
Okay, so I think you mismanaged your last day because I was the person that you confided into, and through time I found out I wasn't the best person for you to tell that to. Do you accept my apology?
Do you recall
the last day?
Let me tell you what happened. So I get into the office and they tell me that it's my last day. Like that's all the words I heard. After that, it sounded like Charlie Brown's teacher, everything else that they said to me. So I'm like, okay, I'm numb now. What am I going to do? Let me go tell the guys that I'm not going to be here on the show. Let me go upstairs. So I go upstairs and the only person was Crowder. And I'm like, I'm not going to be here. They just let me go. And I just remember Crowder looking at me like, what do you want me to do about it? I got nothing from him. I was like, okay, well, I'll call Hoch then. Forget you.
So perfectly Crowder. It is so perfectly Crowder.
Man, things happen, Shay. You know, it is what it is. I gave you a lot of cliches that probably didn't help.
I'm a forgiving person. Don't worry. We're good.
I didn't work that day in solidarity with you, Shay. I walked out. Did you know that?
I did. I remember that. And I really appreciated that. Like, it really did mean a lot to me.
It was just a paid day off for me, but I felt like it would have meant something to you.
Still, it did. It really did mean something to me.
It made me work harder.
It really did. It didn't matter to me that all of a sudden Crowder was going to have to work harder. I'm like,
but that's what he got for not, helping me out that day and giving me a hug. That's all.
And he had any emotion like me, he'd have walked off the show too.
I wish all I would have done was, hey, Shay, I'd have gave you a big hug. If I could go back, I'd give you a big hug and be like, everything would be okay.
That's all you had to do and say.
But Shay, I watched 60, 70 guys get cut. Like it was part of life in my world. It's like, oh yeah.
Next time you see me, all you gotta do is say, Shay, it's gonna be okay. Give me a hug.
It's gonna be okay. No, I owe you a hug.
50% off on Crowder powder if you want, Shay.
Huh? 50%. No, Jack. 852, Shay. 852.
Oh my God.
Crowderpowder.com, Shay.
I already bought some.
Crowderpowder.com.
You know what? Shay used to be in charge of like the Dolphins cheerleaders. I bet she cut a number of people during her existence. So.
I will say I was a judge at one of the auditions, and I remember looking at some girls, and I was just like, "Oh, okay, I'm so sorry, but next time, yeah." So I understand. I get it.
Yes.
Yeah, well, there you go. Sha Tabb, I miss you. I see her every now and then. We see each other at least once or twice a year.
Yes.
And it's amazing. 10 years has gone by. We were doing this like this 10 years ago today for the first time on the air. Pretty wild.
I'll tell you, Hawk, you look 10 years older. I don't know what
the
hell
younger.
Shay. I don't know how
amazing.
she exfoliates. I don't know what she moisterizes with, but she never gets any older.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate that. But
I've absorbed her aging. I'm aging twice. She's not aging at all.
I have to say, every time I hear Hall & Oates, I always think of Hoch. That will always be forever and for always.
I mean, when people hear Hall & Oates or order a McRib, they think of me. I say, I've really made my mark. I don't know what kind of mark, but I've made my mark. All right. Happy anniversary, Shay.
Happy anniversary, Hoch.
Love you.